Hey guys, Professor Perazzo here with another installment of Driving It Home with the Professor. As you can tell, it's the fresh and clean edition. Well, somewhat clean because I shaved my hair off and only left a goatee. Anyway, wanted to respond to a question that was left on a response of a question to a response. It's there was a video, there was a question, there was a response to that question, and now there's another question, and I'm responding. So we went from talking about instructors that sell belts and students that buy them, and then the question was what as a tournament promoter, what did I thought? Not as a tournament promoter, but a tournament promoter asked me about sandbagging, and then I responded to that, and then there was a question posed by a friend of mine, Brad Court, who's a black belt, owns Paramount, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in Downingtown. Very successful school, very successful competition team. He's a successful competitor himself. Very, very good Jiu-Jitsu player, fighter. And his kind of question, and I'm trying to remember off the top of my head because it's on my phone, is, well, he's had a student that won Grapplers Quest, won the Good Fight, won U.S. Grappling, and these are all at white belt, and won them multiple times, and then goes to the Pan Ams and loses via submission in the first round. So who's to say that he's a blue belt? And, you know, just so we know, when I'm asked a question, I answer it as if the question is fact. I don't really get into conjecture and the what ifs. I just answer the question how it's laid out to me. So to kind of respond to Brad is, well, it's his student, obviously, and he holds this standard. And that standard in a lot of schools is a sliding scale. So Brad has a very high standard for this one student, and I know exactly who he's talking about, and he's a very, very talented white belt, where, the kind of guy that brown belt professional MMA fighters are training with him and saying, whoa, this guy's really good. And Brad's expectation of him is, in my mind, I don't want to put words in Brad's mouth, but placing at Pan Ams, or he has the ability to take first there. So his student remains a white belt, and that's right. Brad's holding a high standard. Now, well, what do tournament promoters do? I think the tournament promoters need to see, if this guy's won 3 white belt smaller tournaments, they need to have a mechanism in place so that this guy or guys like him have harder competition and are being able to step up. Because who knows, had he been pushed a little bit further in earlier competitions, maybe his outcome at the Pan Ams could have been different. Had he been forced to compete as a blue belt, still technically being a white, but having won, say, 3 in a row U.S. grappling white belt divisions, well, then you know what? You basically cleared that division out. The tournament promoter will use Jim Fortunato, comes up to you at the Good Fight and says, hey man, you know what? You're no longer allowed to compete as a white belt in my tournaments. You may technically be a white belt, but you're going to have to compete as a blue belt. So, I agree. Brad is 100% right. He is the standard bearer. It's not for anyone else to say who is a white belt, who is a blue belt. The question was really driven as if it was a statement of fact, where we're using said instructor was saying this, he is a blue belt, but I'm not giving it to him so that he can be a white belt champion. And I know that's not the case with Brad and his students, and this one particular student, like I said, is very talented. And Brad sees him as special and is holding him to a higher standard, and I think that's great that that Brad does that, and that this student is more than happy to wait and bide his time until he's ready to get his blue belt. Because if I get a sense of what kind of school Brad runs, and I've been out there a few times, and what kind of students Brad has, is their goal isn't to be the best white belt or blue belt. Their goal is to be the best black belt. And if this is part of their path and part of what gets them there, then I wholeheartedly agree what Brad's doing or saying. So from a standpoint, yeah, no one else other than the instructor says who gets what rank. But the tournament promoter, I feel, if a certain competitor is cleaning out division after division after division at a certain level, he has the right to say, hey, we're going to move you up a division because it's ridiculous. Like, how many white belt divisions are you going to win? And in the long run, maybe that would be beneficial to the competitor and could help prepare him for the the big tournaments, the quote unquote Grand Slams, the Pan Ams, the Worlds, things like that. So I hope you guys enjoy that answer. Getting ready to do some work, going into one of my offices, away from offices here. And you can reach me on Twitter at Team NJMA, friend me on Facebook at Marco Perazzo, or check us out online at NJMA Online. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your day.